As President Trump and governors across the nation prepare to reopen the economy, they're also looking at ways to safely reopen churches. One America's Stefan Kleinhans caught up with a pastor serving on the National Coronavirus Recovery Commission and the President's Faith Task Force to help reopen places of worship.
All right, I'm joined now by Pastor Sam Rodriguez, who's serving on the National Coronavirus Recovery Commission with the Heritage Foundation, as well as the President's Task Force. Pastor Sam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with your work with the Heritage Foundation. You guys are looking to save lives and livelihoods, but you're specifically working in the civil society realm of that. Tell me about some of the work there.
We don't want churches to be the centers of outbreaks. So we want churches to phase in a very cautious, practical and pragmatic way, but we are likewise concerned regarding religious liberty intrusions by governors in different parts of the country. So we have to protect our civil liberties while simultaneously re-emerging as faith communities across America.
So that brings me to my next point, where during this pandemic, we saw a lot of people trying to react quickly because this is such an unprecedented, uncharted territory.
Of course.
A lot of people were saying that the government oversteps its authority in closing churches and telling churches they can't gather. What are your thoughts on that? And looking back, knowing what we know now, how could they have done it better?
I would agree. And William Barr agrees, the president agrees, that there are segments or sectors of the country, governors of a certain persuasion as it pertains to communities of faith, in my opinion, and we saw some punitive actions take place that violate our constitutional rights. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't sacrifice our constitutional rights on the altar of a pandemic or on the altar of a crisis. We can't sacrifice truth on the altar of political expediency or even a crisis. So we understand, as American citizens, we have responsibilities collectively. But the idea that you can shut down a church cross the line. Now, I was advocating for pastors to voluntarily go online. And right now, I am exhorting and encouraging pastors to phase in maybe 25% of building capacity for the first 2 weeks, 50% second month, 75% third month. By the fourth month, 100% capacity. All things being equal, with all CDC recommendations fully in place, social distancing in the first 2-3 phases.
Going forward, how do you hope to advise the relationship between churches and government to make sure something like this doesn't happen again?
We really have to build a legal firewall, and we have to put, legally speaking, now let me use colloquialisms or metaphors, we have to put the fear of God in governors who attempt to cross the line and shut down churches in perpetuity. That's outrageous. Let me give you one more example. President Trump, in his 3 phases, included churches in phase 1. The governor of California, God bless him, included churches in phase 3. So churches, hypothetically, can't come back online, meaning physical gatherings, until sporting events and big concerts. I argue that the spiritual health of a nation is equally and as essentially important as the mental and economic health.
Pastor Sam Rodriguez working hard with the Heritage Foundation and the President's Task Force to reopen churches in America. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.